going to try to fix something here. One of the problems you have with these fuel lines they sell you these days is they put them on these rolls and they cram them under here, and then they tighten the piss out of it like that, and they just wrap that thing around super tight all the way around the inside of this thing like this, and it just flattens the hose right on out, and you wind up having to throw away about 6 feet of hose because it destroys the hose. I had some 3/8 hose I had sitting on the wall for a year and it never did straighten out. You can see how it puts permanent creases in things. So the hose is pretty much flat, so from about here on, this is junk. So you got this much here. There's about 4 feet of hose here. And stretch it out. It's pretty much worthless. So you buy 25 feet, you throw away 4 or 5 feet of it. Not very economical. So what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to see if I can put pressure in this thing and blow it up, and then you throw it outside in the sun and see if the kinks will work their way out. So I got this old inner tube here that we took off of this bike. So let's see if we can use this to our advantage here, make it work. So I'm going to take this thing apart. I don't know why this thing was leaking, so do a test here. So one way how you know how this stuff works is to play with it. Also see how the inner tube is put together here. These are vulcanized onto the inside here. So this one was leaking, so it looks like there's nothing I'm going to get off of that from there. So we'll just have to cut this off right here. Put this in our vise. So you can determine what's underneath here, because I don't really know. I'm assuming it's got like a flange on the inside here. That's what it feels like. So I got an anti-flanging tool around here somewhere. Where's my anti-flanging tool? There it is. One anti-flanging tool. Also need my valve core, which I forgot to bring over. There you go. Spare parts. Always keep your old spare parts. They come in handy at times. Alright. We're going to cut this thing off and try to make a tool out of it. I had a whole bunch of inner tubes I threw away when I moved. Always, when you throw away stuff, you always find a use that you could have used it for. Let's get a good view of me, but know what I'm doing. This blade is doesn't feel very sharp. Have to worry about digging in. It's warm. Heat. Ooh, hot. There it goes. She's off. This blade's getting dull. Or it just doesn't like brass. Probably just doesn't like brass. Alright, still got something inside the tube. That tube's no good. I'll guarantee you that tube will not hold air now. Okay, so I'm going to take this here. I left that burr on there for a reason. So I'm going to put in there about a 1/2 inch. We'll tighten up with a clamp. On through there. There we go. So this will allow us to put air into it. Tighten the clamp down pretty well. Should be enough. Got a good squeeze on the hose. Need a valve core. Just a long version. Could be long or short, it doesn't really matter. They all work in the same holes. Alright, so that one's in there all the way. So now we go on the other end down here. We've got to put something down here to plug up the other end. So this is the good end down here. Something we just shove a bolt into this. Probably do the trick. So I got to find me a bolt. Just trying to have a whole bunch of them over there. Look at all those bolts I got. Which one do you want to use? Long drawer unit. Go with this one. Five 5/16 hose, 5/16 bolt. Okay, I grabbed a nice long with a nice long shank on it. So it gives us a lot of area to hold against. Go in there about that far. Put this other clamp over here on there. Good tight squeeze on that. Alright, let's see what happens. So stretch it all out so it's not a big knot. Okay, this is our bad area right here. Core's in it. Okay, I need my inflator. Air. Alright, let's see what happens. There's 120 pounds in there right now. That blows it up pretty good. 120 pounds PSI. What kinks? There are no kinks in that hose now. I like that. That worked pretty good. I know that bad area is right through here, but somewhere. It's right in here, you just can't really feel. This is where it was crimped real flat. It's nice and around there now. There you go. That worked really well. I like that. See, every now and then you come up with a good idea that actually does work. Every now and then. So this is the bad area of the hose. It's nice and round and true, and Go all the way down to this end, and it was good down here, and it still is good. Nice and round and true. So I take this and throw it out in the sun, and it'll take a heat sink to it. The only problem is not much sun out right now. It's 5 o'clock. It's cold out. Should do this earlier. Alright, I'm going to let this sit all night and see what happens. See if it's leaking any air. See if you have an air leak. A little spit on the end of your finger. That's an air leak. You see that bubble? See how it's making a bubble? It's leaking air. So this core is not working very well. So let's try a different one. Appears to be an air leak. Hose shrank right back down. This might have been a bad core, that's why it was leaking anyway, this tube. But I'm going to try a different actual stem and an extra core in here. The stem is the problem. So I'm going to try a different one of those. Let's try one of these little short ones in here. I got a red one and a black one. I think the red one's the one that came out of it. Okay, we're going to try a red one this time. This is a short one instead of a long one. Okay, try this again. So let's see what this hose looks like. So here's that kink that was down there. You see I already blew out a bunch of it, even though there's no air pressure right now. It took out a lot of it. I'll take out more when I put air in it. $120. Very light bubble. Small bubble. It's pretty tight already. Yeah. I think it's a bad stem. That's why this tube is always going flat, I bet. I'm not sure. So I think this is the one that came out of it. So I'm going to try one more just to see what happens. Air leak. Boop, red one's out. Got a black one in here. Okay, I'm going to try this black one. If it still leaks after doing this, then we know it's probably a bad stem because it's 3 different cores in it. It's hard to believe you'd have 3 bad ones. About 135 pounds at that time. Just to get a little bit of a bubble going. Not much though. No. Maybe not. There you go. That one's not leaking. Got a good one. It's got like 135 pounds in there. Alright. It was the wrong problem with that whole tube was bad stems. Bad cores. So I'm going to take these 2 cores and throw them away. They're leaking, so get rid of them. I'm sure there's more in there somewhere. Alright, well there you go. $135, 130 pounds of air pressure. Takes care of kinky hoses. Alright, tomorrow I'll throw it out in the sun for a little bit. Hopefully it'll go down a little ways. I'll probably throw it out there right now, so I don't have to worry about it tomorrow. Alright, there you go. That's how you fix a bad hose. There you go.